I legit need to get like a, yo, my intros be so ghetto, though. I need to get like a legit saying. I be watching other people channel and they all come in with it, like it be all organized. I'm like, boy, I just turn this camera on and get the yapping to y'all ass. Peep, real quick. About to check out The Killer Virgin, the delusional case of Elliot Rodger. Look, see, look, ghetto shit. Don't even know what we watching. Coffeehouse Crime. That's what it was. Y'all just showed me this channel. Y'all also just showed me that chapter. Yo, that shit was crazy. The Susan Cox Powell, hella crazy. But yo, you wanna check out the original video? Link will be in the description below. But let's go. Stop looking at me like that.
He was a young man so upset at his lack of companionship with women that he decided to kill them all instead. And although his day of retribution didn't quite go to plan, he would leave behind grieving families and a long digital trail of clues to his destruction. My name is Adrian, and welcome back to Coffeehouse Crime. Today we're looking at the case of Elliot Rodger, who was also known as the Killer Virgin, King of the Incels, or as he liked to call himself, the Supreme Gentleman. It's been a long time that I've wanted to cover this case. In this video today, we'll be looking at Elliot's history, tying his video logs to his stories, and looking at what eventually led him down his darkest path. I do also have a small announcement to share with you all at the end of this video, but first, I have a story to tell. So without further ado, pull up a seat, grab a coffee and sit back. This is the case of Elliot Rodger.
Hey, that dude's camera was crisp as hell. The case of Elliot Rodger, Coffeehouse Crime. Oh, that's dope. I get it. So it's like you're at a coffee house and he's treating you to like coffee. You drink coffee while he tells a story. Oh, that's kind of dope. If that's what it is.
The story of Elliot Rodger first begins east of the Atlantic Ocean in London, England. Elliot was born on the 24th of July 1991. His father, Peter Rodger, was a British filmmaker and photographer, and his mother, Lee Chin, was a nurse who worked on film sets. It's through their encounters at work that the two first found love before conceiving Elliot 2 years later. His parents also had a daughter. Elliot's younger sister was called Georgia.
That boy look high as hell.
When Elliot was the age of 5, the family moved to Los Angeles, California in 1996, and this was a move to strengthen his father's career in filmmaking. After settling into their new home, Elliot was enrolled into Topanga Elementary School. By all standards, he was a well-behaved kid, even making a few friends in his first year. His childhood seemingly bright and positive. But it was just after his 7th birthday that his first struggle in life appeared. His mother and father would unfortunately divorce, and this would leave both him and Georgia to split their time between the two on weekdays and weekends. Elliot was already described as a shy and quiet person. He was happy but didn't have much confidence, and he would always try to fit in with the cool kids. A sudden change in his home life, though, would propel his insecurities. 2 months after his 7th birthday, his father Peter would introduce Elliot to a new woman, and her name was Sumaya Akabun. She moved into Elliot's father's household shortly after, and before he knew it, Elliot realised that she was now his new stepmother. The two would argue often, and with Elliot not accepting any discipline from an outsider, this would be a recurring problem in the years to come. Elliot lived a relatively wealthy life growing up. He went on several holidays abroad, had access to general and mental health care, and pretty much got whatever he wanted. But despite the money and gadgets that Elliot owned, his friendship circle slowly dwindled into his teenage years, and he eventually found himself becoming the target of frequent bullying. He still had friends, but not many. The situation would grow more complicated at home too. At the age of 13, Elliot's father and stepmother had a son. Elliot's new stepbrother was called Jazz. In his mid-teens, he started a personal YouTube account called Elliot's Blog, which is where he often complained about his loneliness and reminisced about his childhood.
That's great.
Elliot Rodger here, and here I am at Serrania Park, the most significant place of my childhood.
It was around this time that Elliot began his path of depression and loneliness. Unfortunately, the bullying at school...
You know, it's crazy. That's one of the hardest things I'm trying to stop doing so bad. Like, I live in the past a lot. And when you live in the past a lot, it will put you in a state of depression because you just keep thinking about all these amazing memories that you know. Ain't nothing you can do to go back to them ones. There's nothing you can do to go back and relive those memories. Damn, it's so much bullshit. Especially when you know your past is like really freaking great, dude. Like, oh my gosh, my past was just so top tier. But peep though, I can hear it in the video like, yeah, this ain't gonna be healthy. My bad, boy. I thought I heard somebody in my door. But peep though, real quick, we're gonna get back to the video. The bullying one, this don't give you an excuse to start killing people neither, dog. But peep, the bullying one, it's gonna happen regardless. I'm telling you, man. You could be the prettiest, the handsomest, whatever, strongest, whatever. It's going to happen to you. However, though, I ain't gonna cap though. I do feel like in my era and before, it was a little easier because if keep it in 100, if bullying happened, we would either fight it out or you'll avoid this bully to the point where everybody it just died down. Everybody forget about it. Don't nobody remember nothing. Woo. But now, if some ish happen, bro, it's a chance somebody be recording it, tagging you in it, and it's all over the internet. And you already know how the internet works. If something hit the internet, it's never gone. You can delete it, trash it. It's never gone. People will come back like 15 years later and find that. So it stick with you, dog. It's like, that's bullish. At least we had the chance to forget about ours, but that don't give no excuse to go out and do what you about to do neither, bro.
It was around this time that Elliot began his path of depression and loneliness. Unfortunately, the bullying at school didn't stop for Elliot either. Even at one point, the teasing resulting in Elliot having his head taped to the desk by fellow classmates. It was through negative encounters like this that caused Elliot to move from school to school quite often, and with that, he never made any friends locally. Elliot also started to see a psychiatrist at the age of 16. He was prescribed risperidone, an antipsychotic used to treat schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. He openly admitted in his blogs, though, that he refused to take this medication. After turning 18, Elliot became increasingly isolated. By now, he only had a handful of online friends. He often told his parents that he was unable to make friends in real life, and no girls ever seemed interested in talking to him. Elliot decided that he wanted to improve his life moving forward, and to do this...
That's cap, bro. Yes, they will. It's somebody for everybody, trust me. You just gotta get up that game, got the house. Hey, as a gamer, I stay on the game, but trust me, it's somebody out there.
Elliot decided that he wanted to improve his life moving forward, and to do this, he would try two things.
Keep it in 100, bro. You too spoiled. You finding excuses for shit. I ain't gonna cap. I don't know what's about to happen, but bro, you too spoiled. That's the problem. You're finding excuses. Stop playing with me.
Elliot decided that he wanted to improve his life moving forward, and to do this, he would try two things. The first one was to learn how to drive, thinking that this would impress women, and the second would be to try and dress better, therefore making him seem more approachable. He desperately wanted to fit into the world and make friends, so along with his new car, he changed his hairstyle and brought a bunch of new clothes. It was noted by his classmates, however, that although he did buy a new car and new clothes, he never actually tried to speak to anyone or make any friends.
See?
Instead, he would sit in his car on lunch breaks and expect others to make the first move. His evenings and weekends still continued to be spent alone at home as well. He would spend his time either playing World of Warcraft or Halo with his three friends James, Philip and Addison. And more or less, at the age of 18, Elliot recognised that he had spent most of his latter teenage years angry at the world.
Yup.
Upset that he didn't fit in with friendship groups, despite never trying to. And even more importantly to him, he started to become enraged that he had never slept with or even had a girlfriend for that matter. Elliot's perspective on other people had shifted to become more toxic too. He openly admitted in his journal that whenever he saw a couple together, holding hands or kissing, he would feel either intense sadness or rage. At one point, this resulted in Elliot throwing hot coffee over a couple that he saw kissing in a Starbucks car park. And while that action seemed hostile and completely out of order, it was only going to get worse. In the year of 2011, Elliot was 19, and on Saturday the 4th of June, he moved to Isla Vista, a community on the coast of Santa Barbara, California. He moved there to attend Santa Barbara City College, joining a private residence with two other men. It was almost instantaneous that Elliot's bitterness and loneliness extended into his new life though. Within a week he was frustrated with his housemates, and by the end of the month, they had moved out. The situation with Elliot's next pair of housemates though was even worse, and coupled with Elliot's racism, he would argue with the two daily.
And you know, it's funny, I was just about to say, it's not even the fact that you're not even trying to fit in with people. It seemed like, no, you're the problem. It seemed like when you get around people, shit just go hella sour. Like, boy, stop playing. Like I said at the beginning, I don't even feel bad for saying it. Yeah, you finding excuses out this, bro. You got everything handed to you, bro. Your pops got money, bro. Y'all good. Moved you to Cali, living a good life. That's crazy.
Was even worse, and coupled with Elliot's racism, he would argue with the two daily, almost getting into physical fights on a couple occasions.
What'd he
The
say?
longing for a girlfriend continued too.
The hard
He
R.
would often get so angry at seeing couples that it would become a normality for him to run back to his room, sulking and crying. His life continued to worsen in 2012 too. It was this year that he dropped out of all of his classes altogether, not being able to stand the sight of others falling in love. Elliot also spiraled into the trap of gambling with lottery tickets. He believed that getting rich by winning the lottery would give him all of the female attention that he desired, and so in the first week of February 2012, he spent over $100 on lottery tickets. Not surprisingly, he didn't win. The next week though, he felt more confident, and so he spent $500 on lottery tickets. No dice, but maybe third time's the charm. Week 3, he spent $700.
Damn.
This too though, ended in a loss. He had nothing to show for the
Stop.
$1,300 he spent gambling. And even worse, he didn't accept defeat. He felt like he deserved it, that he was cheated away from his money. Elliot dipped into one of the worst bouts of depression in his life shortly after this.
No cap, you do, but I be like, I want my money back. Like, bro, this shit, hell no, you sold me this shit. This shit ain't no winner.
Elliot dipped into one of the worst bouts of depression
Hell
in
no.
his life shortly after this. As spring break flared up in Isla Vista, he spent most of his time in his room, refusing to try and socialise. Angry, sad, and alone. And for the times that he did leave his house, he would walk by himself, ranting to his video camera about his life.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. Right now I'm just taking a walk through the park in this really nice, secluded area. I'm just contemplating about my life and how unfair it's been lately. Ever since I started desiring girls, but they never desired me back. Life has been a living hell since then. Right now it's spring break. Everyone else my age is out having fun with their friends and their girlfriends. Here I am, taking lonely walks through a park.
In April 2012, Elliot's long-term childhood friend James also decided that enough was enough. He found Elliot too radical, too negative, and so with that said and done, he called the friendship off. It was at this point that Elliot now considered himself entirely alone, friendless in this cold world. Late one September night, Elliot drank an entire bottle of wine, or at least he tried to. He ended up spilling an entire glass all over his laptop, completely destroying it.
Oh.
This meant that the next day he had to go to Best Buy to buy himself a brand new one. While he was there, he had to wait a few hours for the store to prepare his order, and so during that time, he walked across the road to a local firing range. This would be a turning moment for Elliot. He had previous thoughts of acting out the day of
Hold up,
retribution
brother. The laptop almost ready. Come get this shit. The fuck wrong?
for Elliot. He had previous thoughts of acting out the day of retribution, a time where Elliot would claim vengeance against women for denying him of his sex life. And it was here in this firing range, after he took his first few shots, that he asked himself,
"What am I doing here? How could things have led to this?"
While his internal question at first sounded hesitant, by the end of the day, he had made his mind up. He had come to the conclusion that humans are just brutal animals, and if he cannot thrive among them, he would have to destroy them all.
Damn.
In his manifesto after this day, he wrote,
I didn't want things to turn out this way. I wanted a happy, healthy life of love and sex. But if I'm unable to have such a life, then I will have no choice but to exact revenge on the society that denied it to me.
Elliot purchased a Glock 34 automatic pistol in December that year, and again during the following spring break he purchased another firearm, a Sig Sauer P226. On the 20th of July 2013, Elliot attended a party where he again tried to interact with girls. He'd been working out in his bedroom for the previous 2 weeks, and he thought that this would increase his chances. But again, it ended in him being ignored. In his drunk state, he sat on a 10-foot ledge where other members of the party were hanging out. This escalated into an argument, where he then tried to push girls off that very same ledge.
Hey, that ain't funny. Chill out. Cause I'll stop. Chill out. Boy, I wish you would try to push me.
arguments, where he then tried to push girls off that very same ledge.
Boy.
He failed, and instead he was pushed off the ledge by other men who had intervened.
Good.
This resulted in Elliot being beaten up, and eventually he would need surgery to repair his broken left leg.
Like, bro, what did you expect, bro? It's like, I want to feel bad for bro, but it's like you pulling this all on yourself. How you gonna try to push her off the ledge because she want to fuck? Oh my god, what the fuck is... That's crazy though, bro. Legit just felt like he had the right to her. Like she had to say yeah. Man, you just don't get it.
He would need surgery to repair his broken left leg. This, according to Elliot in his manifesto, is what actually made him start meticulously planning his day of retribution.
I knew it.
But with a broken leg and some preparations to make, it would take some time. Fast forward, and it is now the early months of 2014. In those early months, which would be the final months before the planned attack, Elliot spent most of his days outside of his room. He went on hikes in the mountains of Montecito, took long strolls along the beach, wandered to the parks around Santa Barbara, and watched the sunset in many car parks as he contemplated his own existence.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm just sitting in my car right now, after watching that beautiful sunset descend beyond that hill up there. Enjoying a nice vanilla latte. I've been doing a lot of thinking about how sad and unfair my life has been. All because girls haven't been attracted to me. I've had to rot in bleak and sad loneliness. I mean, you give a chance to all these stupid, obnoxious guys that I see you walking with, but you don't give a chance to me. Why not? I'm such a magnificent guy. I'm beautiful. You can't deny that. I'm civilized, intelligent, sophisticated. I have a sense of style. And yet you girls don't see it. It's not fair. I deserve them more. I don't understand you girls. It's like your sexual attraction is flawed. It's perverted. This world, it's so twisted.
But anywhere he went, he would see couples together, and this outraged Elliot. During this time, he would record himself in and around his car. He would upload these videos to YouTube, but no one would pay attention to them.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here.
That's because Mr. Baller taking all the views. This is legit crazy. I was just about to say, bro, I'm sorry you're delusional. But that's already in the title. That's crazy. I was just about to say that.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm just sitting in my car right now, enjoying the view of the beach. And my view has been ruined by this sight right here.
Ooh.
In front of me, sitting right there on that bench, is a young couple. I was enjoying such a nice view until they came and sat down and started kissing. This is the reason why life isn't fair. Why can't I experience something like that? I have to show everyone why I hate the world. Because no girl would do this with me. I hate them. I hate them so much. It's not fair. Life is not fair.
It's really not, for no one.
Only 1 week had passed since that video had been uploaded to YouTube when police came knocking on Elliot's door. Someone had watched the video and they were suspicious that Elliot was unstable. They called a health agency, which in response called the police.
I wonder what that couple said.
Stable. They called a health agency, which in response called the police. And they in response went to him. Police interrogated Elliot outside of his bedroom door, questioning him on if he had any suicidal thoughts. He played the situation down though and said that he was doing just fine. It was a very close call, because if police did go into Elliot's bedroom, they not only would have found his pistols and a plethora of ammunition, but they would have also found his manifesto too.
Yeah, because even I could tell, it don't sound like he's having idle, you know, the one with the S, thoughts. It feels more like, I'm trying not to say it, the H one, idol. It feel like he's more on that aspect.
Of ammunition, but they would have also found his manifesto too. Unfortunately though, they never entered Elliot's bedroom. Elliot's radicalized thoughts were at this stage solidified, and the severity of his emotions were only getting worse.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm up in the hills in Montecito right now. It's truly a beautiful day. But, as I've always said, a beautiful environment is the darkest hell if you have to experience it all alone.
Oh, damn, hey, he ain't capping. I ain't gonna cap. That was good. Did he make that up? Because y'all know I like a good quote, because I steal that shit in a heartbeat. Did he make that up? Legit, like when you can look at it in the sense of like when you have everything, but no one, that shit sounds painful to me. Hey, that was for real, though, no cap.
Hey, Elliot Rodger here. I'm up in the hills in Montecito right now. It's truly a beautiful day. But, as I've always said, a beautiful environment is the darkest hell if you have to experience it all alone. And sadly, I've been alone for a very long time. And my problem is girls.
No, it ain't.
I don't know why you girls are so repulsed by me. I dress nice. I'm sophisticated. I'm magnificent. I have a nice car, a BMW. I'm polite. I'm the ultimate gentleman. Look at how fabulous I look.
Bro, you full of yourself
And
too,
yet,
bro.
you girls, you never give me a chance. And that's just such an injustice because I'm so magnificent. I deserve girls much more than all those slobs I see at my college who are somehow able to walk around with beautiful girls. I mean, look at me. I'm gorgeous. But you girls don't see it. I should be the one with the girls. But you never give me a chance. It's such an injustice. I don't know why you girls hate me so much. I've always wished I could ask you this, and this is my way of asking you this. This is the only way I can ask you.
Elliot's plans for the day.
How about actually asking them? Try that one.
Elliot's plans for the day of retribution were complicated and violent. The day was actually spread across two. He planned to first drive to his father's house where he would kill his stepmother and his younger brother, Jazz. He was always frustrated with Samaya, and so for him it would be sweet revenge. And as for Jazz, he didn't want his younger brother surpassing him as a man, so he too had to go. He would only do this if his father was out of town for the week though. He didn't want to harm Peter. Next, he would drive back to Isla Vista with the family SUV, and take the lives of his housemates so he could use the apartment as a place to lure strangers in before beating and killing them. George Chen and Chang Yuan Hong were currently living with Rodger in their shared school apartment. He would then on day 2 target the Alpha Phi sorority, a sorority he deemed as the most beautiful dorm on campus, filled with hot blonde girls.
That's crazy.
After he was done with them, he would then switch to his SUV and head over to Del Playa, before running over as many victims as possible, and then turning the gun on himself. Elliot Rodger saw himself as a god, deserving of much more than—
Hold up, it was this video I saw a long time ago. it was just people on the sidewalk walking like there was, I think that was like in like a shopping center or something walking, and this car just came up and was just running people over. Was this him? Damn.
Elliot Rodger saw himself as a god, deserving of much more than he had on planet.
My bad. Hello? That wasn't nobody.
Elliot Rodger saw himself as a god, deserving of much more than he had on planet Earth. In the final pages of his manifesto, he wrote,
I am Elliot Rodger, magnificent, glorious, supreme, eminent, divine. I am the closest thing there is to a living god. Humanity is a disgusting, depraved and evil species. It is my purpose to punish them all. I will purify the world of everything that is wrong with it. On the day of retribution, I will truly be a powerful god, punishing everyone I deem to be impure and depraved.
His preparations for the day of retribution wouldn't quite go to plan though. His plans for day one to execute his stepbrother and stepmother would require his father to be out of town, and while he originally did have plans to do so, that was cancelled last minute. The consequence to this is that Peter actually and unknowingly saved his wife's and his son's lives just by being home. As a result, Elliot ditched his plans for the SUV too. His BMW would have to do, but before he could execute the rest of his plans, he would have to make and upload one final video to YouTube.
Hi, Elliot Rodger here. Well, this is my last video. It all has to come to this. Tomorrow is the day of retribution. The day in which I will have my revenge against humanity. Against all of you. I'm 22 years old, and I'm still a virgin. And it has been very torturous. It's not fair. You girls...
The crazy part is, real quick, being 100% honest, not being funny. If these type of videos would have came out today during this time, I ain't gonna cap, them would have blew up on YouTube. Because the whole time I'm thinking like, damn, how he ain't blowing up on YouTube? He speaks very clear, very good. I'm not gonna lie. He speak like he's in like a Shakespeare play or some shit. And I mean, I'm straight as hell. You're not an ugly guy. I'm just being honest, 100%. You're a handsome young man. So there's some things we can work on, but still. And then talking like this as well, because people, you know how nosy people are now, especially how everyone is on the internet now. People would have been sharing us like, I don't know, you peep the way bro talking, I think he about to do something. And then you already know how I'm about to jump in his back, because this is some goofy shit I be seeing online. I don't know how y'all do this. And then people, the reason why it would have really blew up is because people would have started saying, oh, he's kind of handsome. Oh, he kind of this. Boom, boom, boom. He like a model. Bro would have became a star off of doing goofy shit. I've seen way too many crime videos or posts where it's like a dude did something, but all these girls been in the comments like just loving them. That's all I'm saying. I've been 100. Tell me I'm cap. Tell me I'm lying. If these videos would have came out today, in the pandemic era, you know this would have went crazy online. It wouldn't even went that far. He'd got so much fame from the shit. He probably would have. We ain't gonna talk about no other shit. We'll get back to the jokes, because we ain't gonna talk serious shit. Because we talk serious shit, you know how they get. Oh no, Charlie, you shouldn't say that, man.
22 years old, and I'm still a virgin. And it has been very torturous. It's not fair. You girls have never been attracted to me. I don't know why you girls aren't attracted to me, but I will punish you all for it. I don't know what you don't see in me. I'm the perfect guy, and yet you throw yourselves at all these obnoxious men, instead of me, the supreme gentleman. I will punish all of you for it. You will finally see that I am, in truth, the superior one, the true alpha male. Yes. Well, now
This nigga just
I will
really
be
laugh.
Yes.
That
Well,
nigga said, "Mwah."
now I will be a god compared to you.
Go back, wait, go back, dang, go back to the laugh. Hold on, I done lost the part. This boy is tweaking.
The true alpha male. Yes. Well, now I will be a god compared to you. You will all be animals. You denied me a happy life. And in turn, I will deny all of you.
The Krabby Patty!
It's only fair. I hate all of you. I've waited a long time for this. I can't wait to give you exactly what you deserve. Utter elation.
Today is the day you will face my wrath. For decades, I have watched you, mere mortal fools. You walk around listening to your fucking rap music and your little TikTok dances. And now, I, the God! Boy, I'm about to turn this video off.
Give you exactly what you deserve. Utter annihilation.
On the 23rd of May 2014, Elliot began his rampage. He started by stabbing his two housemates, George Chen and Cheng Yang-hong, to death.
Crazy.
Their friend Wei Han Wang was visiting at the time, and he too was killed.
Damn.
The three men receiving 142 stab wounds between each other. At 9:17 PM, Elliot then uploaded his final video to YouTube, titling it Elliot Rodger's Retribution. 1 minute later, he then sent his 137-page manifesto to 34 people. This included both of his parents, other family members, his therapist, his former school teachers, and his childhood friends. His therapist contacted his mother within 5 minutes of the email being sent, and very quickly she reacted by calling his father Peter, and then the police. Both Peter and Li Chin raced from their homes in Los Angeles towards Isla Vista, but by then, it was too late. Elliot was already in motion. He headed to the Alpha Phi sorority with the intention of shooting everyone inside, but when his knocking on their front door went unanswered, he retreated back from the property towards the street. Instead, Elliot shot 3 Delta 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 sorority women who were nearby, killing Cooper and Veronica Weiss, and wounding Bianca DeCock.
That's messed up, dog.
He then drove further into town to Pardal Road, before he proceeded on foot and fired several rounds into Isla Vista Deli Mart, killing a student named Christopher Michael Martinez. After killing Christopher, Elliot drove away and continued his rampage, shooting at several pedestrians in drive-by shootings while striking others with his BMW. As he backed onto himself, Elliot got into a gunfight with 3 responding officers near Little Acorn Park. He suffered a gunshot.
Problem is, bro, it was no fixing this dude. He's blaming everything and everyone around him. He's not taking accountability. So much handed to him. You can move with that. I get it. You're born rich. I get it. And long. You got bullied. It happened, bro. The problem is not even all of that. It's on top of that, even when you get around people, just from the story I'm hearing, it sounds like you are not the energy to be around at all. And you legit think like you are this one. It's okay with feeling like getting your spiritual bag and feeling like, you know what, I'm higher than what I am right now. I know I could be someone else. I know it's a higher version of me out there I need to reach. It's okay for shit like that. It's cool. You want to elevate. But when you get to a point where you ain't putting in no work to even see that version of you, and honestly, bro, you're not even trying to get to it. You just feel like you just think that. It's like, bro, I know I'm the ish, and you ain't doing nothing to elevate yourself. Man, stop playing with me, dog. You're not holding yourself accountable for shit. I'm sorry. Keep it in 100.
Got into a gunfight with 3 responding officers near Little Acorn Park. He suffered a gunshot wound to the left hip before speeding away. He was closely pursued as he fled. Still adamant to cause as much carnage as possible, he crashed into a cyclist. In his rage though, he crashed his BMW, and there was no way to flee. Elliot then fatally shot himself in the head, finally bringing an end to his rampage.
I know it.
Police officers would find Elliot Rodgers dead behind his steering wheel only seconds later, and with the cyclist next to him, they would think that both at first were suspects. Both of them would be handcuffed, but a few minutes later, the cyclist would be cleared of any suspicion. Police would soon discover 3 bodies that night, and then another 3 the next morning. Christopher Martinez, a graduating student at UCSB, was pronounced dead in the Isla Vista deli. He was described as a really great kid that had a bright future ahead.
That's bull.
Katie Cooper and Veronica Weiss were both killed outside Alpha Phi sorority house.
Rest in peace.
Veronica was a sweet and friendly young woman who loved sports as much as she did her friends. Katie Cooper was known as an unforgettable smart girl. She was studying art history and archaeology. The following morning...
All because they were living their life. That's it. And according to you, you're the only one having problems. That's it. I guess they didn't have problems neither, though. Life must have been handed to these people. That's... Damn, man.
She was studying art history and archaeology. The following morning, police would find the bodies of Weihan Wang, Cheng Yuan Hong, and George Chen at 6598 Savile Road, No. 7. Weihan Wang was academically gifted in computer programming, and he was looking forward to visiting Yellowstone National Park for his 21st birthday. Cheng Yuan Hong was both smart and kind, known to be always willing to help people out. And George Chen too was sweet-natured, a volunteer at an elderly neighbours organisation when he wasn't seeing friends or tutoring other classmates. On the day after the spree, a candlelit memorial was held in honour of the victims. This was followed by a memorial service at UCSB's Harder Stadium, which held over 20,000 people in attendance. Elliot Rodger's father Peter would then go on to state television to share with the world his anger, despair and confliction. He would then go on to admit that, sometimes, due to the pain Elliot caused, that he wished his son had never been born.
Damn.
Despite the widespread damnation to his actions, Elliot Rodger would soon become known as the King of the Incels, a portmanteau of involuntary celibate.
Man, that's crazy, dog. As a father, he probably worked hard to give his son that life, dude. I saw this one quote. It's so cheesy, so corny, but it's so dope. I love it. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was basically like, I got it out the mud so my kid can get it out the garden. It was something like that. It was hella corny when I read it, but at the same time, I was like, that's legit, though. It's legit. It's like, you work so hard so your kids can have this good life, so they ain't got to go through the BS you went through. Whole time, it also refers back to what? The grass looks green on the other side, or whatever, how it go. So these kids born into this rich life, and for them, that's all they know. So I get that part. I ain't gonna take that from you. That's all they know, and it seemed like bullshit to them. But at the same time, you gotta understand that I don't give a damn what people are born to, whether you're born into hella money, not hella money. Bro, people are going to go through ish. Like I mentioned at the beginning with bullying. I wasn't trying to be harsh. I'm just being real. The shit, those two things more than likely are going to happen in your life. It's going to, man, you're going to go through shit. People are going to bully you. It's going to happen, dog. Those two excuses, those two things, it's life. It's legit life at that point. That's what it is.
Despite the widespread damnation to his actions, Elliot Rodger would soon become known as the King of the Incels, a portmanteau of involuntary celibate. Incels are an online subculture of people who define themselves as unable to find a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one. It is there that Elliot found sympathy and forgiveness for his struggles to both romantically and socially find his place on this earth. But Elliot is better defined as a misogynist, a racist.
I would say that's dope that it's people that at least they know they're dealing with this, they can help each other. That's dope.
Place on this earth. But Elliot is better defined as a misogynist, a racist, and a narcissist.
See?
He had a strong prejudice against women, clearly spoke against Asian and black people, and described himself to be a god above the rest of mankind.
Told you.
But there were other factors at play
heard,
here too. He was a man severely struggling with mental illness, something that he'd been struggling with for a very long time. And he was also very lonely, not just seeking relationships but friendship too. With a split family and moving around so often, it's easy to see that both his chances to find companionship and overcome his mental obstacles were thwarted. It's thought-evoking to wonder if this massacre could have been avoided entirely if he had received the correct response in his earlier years. That does not diminish...
In his earlier years, I'll say it definitely, I think it could have. But with him getting older, I think it seemed like it got to the point where he was pushing people away. Like, my bad to resync everything.
It's thought-evoking to wonder if this massacre could have been avoided entirely if he had received the correct response in his earlier years.
Could have.
That does not diminish his actions though. What he did is unforgivable. But it does underpin the severe consequences in not addressing mental hardships early on in childhood. And the real tragedy here, the lives of 6 others lost. All who had no play or part to Elliot's suffering or rage.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. This was hell of a mental illness, legit. But the problem was not that. I'm not judging you on that part. I'm not faulting you on that part. I should say. I'm not faulting you on that. I get that. My brother's the same way. He will not talk to you at all. His social anxiety is through the roof. Like his own family can come over. He's not talking. He don't even want to be around. But the problem with you, dog, it was so, your words were just off-putting. Like, it put people off, dude. You were self-entitled as hell. So it's like the way you talk and carry yourself, like life is unfair, but boom, boom, oh my God, this. It's like people not going to be around that, man. And let's say if it's okay to say things like that. You can feel that way. Life is unfair, it is. But at the same time, you cannot make it seem like you're the only one dealing with this shit and everybody else is not. Like, at that point, that's what's like what the hell you mean? We all know life is unfair. Hey, if you know somebody who tell you, hey, yeah, I don't live my life for a while, this shit is hella fair, then please let me know what they do, because I want to know them, dog. But and then on top of that, I get it. A lot of people look at themselves as gods. Look, a lot of people look at themselves as higher up. A lot of people who get really spiritual. I get that part too. But the thing is, even when I see these people, I'm not super spiritual, but you know, I tap into that side. But even when I see these people, though, they're doing shit to elevate themselves, though. They get shit is unfair, but they're still trying to elevate themselves. They're still putting in that work at the same time, because it don't work just sitting back like, bro, I'm the shit, dog. And that's it. You don't do nothing all day. Like, the shit at what? And the crazy part is, man, 2011, he said you was on Wild. I was on Wild, too. You know how many people... It's funny. It was legit topics on it. People got married from Wild. Basically, where I'm going at is, you can meet people online now, even if you don't like to talk. You can meet people online. You're a gamer. You say you play the game. You play Wild with your friends. You can talk to people through that. Boom. I don't know. Maybe you were doing that, but maybe it was just when you were face to face with people, it was just sounding like you were pushing them away. But hey, but look, though, I'm gonna wrap up this video. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click that like button. I appreciate it.